go live again now, or it has gone live again, but it's still not sure if anyone's here.
Oh.
Today's episode of
we're on.
Live. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're broadcasting now.
Now we just got to wait for everybody to get on. Wait for Albie.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yay!
Yay! Am I here?
You're here. Looks like you're here.
All right. I've been told by several sources on Associated Press that we are now live streaming.
Yeah.
We started on time. This is what we said, 8:18 p.m. I'm glad everyone is joining us at 8:18 p.m. to celebrate Quantum Leap's 35th anniversary. So we're going to get going in a second. And hello, Leapers, and welcome back to the Quantum Leap Podcast. I'm Albie, and we are here celebrating the 35th anniversary of Quantum Leap. 35 years ago tonight. Is that right, Brian?
That is correct. 8 p.m. Eastern.
Wow, 8:18 p.m. Eastern. Sweet.
Not exactly.
Quantum Leap premiered on NBC. I was a wee lad. I was short. I was tiny. I was still just as wide, but I was shorter. And I remember being mesmerized by the show. It was about time travel and had a handsome guy in the lead, and they were doing all kinds of stuff. So we're going to watch that tonight together in this party. We have many guests at this party. Let me introduce first to you from Al's Place and the Quantum Leap Podcast. We have Brian Green. How you doing, Brian?
Hey, doing great.
What's it like in Motor City?
I do not know because I don't live there either. Keep trying.
I'll keep trying. All right. And we have Aaron and Michelle Moss from the Starbright Project. How you guys doing?
Hey, Albie, Serenity. Glad to be here.
Woo, happy anniversary.
Yes.
And we have Suzanne Smiley, a Quantum Leap podcast contributor. How you doing, Suzanne?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good. Nice to see you. And happy anniversary.
Again.
And we have Dave and Stacy from Corman Productions here. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I don't even know if my co-host is on right at the moment, but
I see your name. It's live. That's what happens. I might have told her 9:18 instead of 8:18. I'm not sure. And we have Natasha Zoe Dean. You might know her as the voice of the Quantum Leap Podcast. She does the credits, announces, and all kinds of cool stuff for us all the time. And she's been on several episodes. How you doing, Natasha?
I am doing good. Glad to be here, even though my camera's not working.
Oh, that's okay. I blame Ziggy. So did everybody bring their copy of Quantum Leap? Because we're all going to start it at the same time. We're going to do like a countdown, like a 3, 2, 1 kind of thing. All right. Suzanne's going to get hers. All right. Yay. All right. Very good.
I have mine on streaming.
All right. And I think Zoe is going to be doing that on Prime Video.
Yes.
We're going to be putting this in our computer. Where does it go? Where? Somewhere.
Goes in the floppy disk slot.
Floppy disk drive, yes, 1.44 megabytes. It'll work. And that is a floppy disk, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, that's it.
I don't know. Can you believe this is 35 years old?
Yes.
It smells like it. Yeah, it's nice. So we got this. We're gonna watch this live. For you people at home watching on Peacock or another streaming service like Prime, a lot of times this episode is split into 2 episodes. So we're going to take a little intermission between episodes, 5 minutes so you can get a drink, go pee. We'll still be talking here, but you don't have to, be glued to your screen like you are now. Brian, where is this episode split up and where is it shown like all at once? Do you know?
I do not know exactly. where that is, actually.
All right.
On
Been
Peacock.
35 years
It's
now.
close.
Peacock, it's on 2 different ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that'll be a nice breaking point. 35 years ago today. Before we start, we're going to start in about 5 minutes. So everybody,
Exactly 8:18.
right? Everybody, get your copies ready. But until then, let's do a quick memories of when you first watched this episode. Did you watch it live? Who watched it live?
Yes. I'm the only
Yes.
one. Oh my gosh, I'm the only one.
I watched it live. I forget how old I was. I was a baby.
I was
Probably.
almost 13.
I must have been 2.
You were 13.
If you do the math, I
No,
was
you were
2.
13.
So I was 2. And how old were you, Suzanne?
11.
Something like that.
Wow. Okay. Older than me. I had no idea. You're looking pretty good. All right. So,
I think
so.
the first time I saw it was in 2019.
Oh wow. So
Wow.
you're kind of a latecomer to it. That's pretty cool. I had no idea. So right before you joined the podcast, almost.
Well,
It was right when we did it.
that's why we started doing the podcast.
I saw it for the first time on Netflix in 2016, I think.
Oh, no, it was 2020.
I was 1 year old when it aired.
Wow. So we're about the same age. Not bad.
Yeah.
Pretty
So it was
cool.
around-
Pretty
It
cool.
was around June of 2020 is the first time Michelle saw it.
Okay. Okay.
And I watched it probably in reruns. I started watching it on episode 6, I think it was. Because I didn't see the promos for it. My mom came in and said, "Hey, Aaron, there's this great show about time travel you may want to watch." And it was a Kamikaze Kid episode.
That's a good one.
Oh, that was
And so I
was
started
good.
watching it there. So I probably watched this in reruns when they replayed it that summer.
Very cool. Brian, before we get started, who wrote it? Who directed it? I think I know who wrote it. It's got to be Don Belisario, right?
Oh, it was done indeed. Directed by David Hemmings. Director of photography, Roy Wagner. Lots of producers. Co-producer, Deborah Pratt, of course.
Woo, Deborah! She was on the Corman Show earlier today. Hopefully you check it out. We shared that link. Just where can they find that, Dave?
Corn Productions, YouTube.
Yep. Deborah had some really nice things to say about Quantum Leap and the anniversary, so check that out there. That's the big get on that episode. And me and Brian are on that episode also, so check us out.
Yes.
We did our 5-10 minutes. That was fun. All right. I'm gonna get the episodes ready to play, and we're gonna just watch the first episode, and then we're gonna take like a 5-minute break, and hopefully hijinks will ensue. All right.
Hello, everybody in the chat.
Yes. Who's reading chat? I deputized Stacy, but I don't see Stacy.
Yeah, I think Stacy got lost. I think
All right,
she
Brian.
dropped out.
Any chat we need to read before we
I got
start?
you. Yeah, let's see here. Hello, Charles, Calavero, Alejandro.
Alejandro.
Yes, he says. Alejandro says 35 years went by and I'm 25. The moment I saw it for the first time, was transported to that time period. You could say I leaped.
Ooh, I love it.
Congratulations, Chief Dancing Ostrich. I was 22, going on 23. Fandom Entanglements here. I didn't get to see Genesis
Awesome.
until it aired on USA. That must be Damon.
Hey, Damon. What's up? Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary! Yes, you and
35. And they said it wouldn't last.
Dewey Finn says, I remember the first time I saw this. It was a long time ago, December 2021. Ha! Got the complete series on Blu-ray for his birthday. Since I was a fan of Allison's YouTube and found the podcast through Allison. Okay, cool.
Nice. We like her.
Alejandro saw it in 2021. Charles Ball, BBC2 repeats in the mid-90s.
Ooh.
He was 3 when it first broadcast in 1989. Excellent. Let's see. I believe Damon says first episode was a summer repeat of Play It Again Seymour during the hiatus between season 2 and 3. Calavero 221 says first step for me was original airing of Starcrossed, so since episode 2. Hey, another one back there with me and Albie.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
And Jason S. says, does anyone remember when Al's Place was the only place to go to cry about that season finale?
Yeah.
I do.
Yep.
I was there.
I remember that.
I was there.
I may have been there too, Jason.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right. For the longest time, Brian, I thought your name was Al. I didn't get it, but now I get it.
Al's Place. There.
All right. Who wants to do the countdown? We're all going to get ready to hit play. Hopefully, you've got all your episodes queued up.
Yep.
We have our Peacock queued up and our VHS tape in our floppy drive. So let's do a countdown from this is Genesis Season 1, Episode 1, Genesis Part 1, September 13th, 1956, 35th anniversary tonight, right now, as we speak. Woo! And start your episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, go. All right, and we are playing it muted so we don't get copyright violations. Bring your own copy, watch your own copy along with us now or later. And just enjoy our conversation. Every time I hear this opening music when Al is driving, I think we're about to hear an interview on the Quantum Leap podcast. I'm like, ooh, who did we get this week?
There's Tina. Not the Tina, but a Tina.
A Tina.
So it's not the Tina?
Yes.
Music playing. I see why they hired her.
And this is Deborah Pratt's voice overdubbed over the actresses.
Do we know why they did that? Did she have an accent? You couldn't understand her or something?
We need to ask her. I can't remember.
Deborah did a great job.
I'm sure she's been asked that before.
You know what's really cool about this episode? This was so futuristic at the time, 35 years in the future, but now it kind of looks old. And I kind of like what the idea they did with Al's car here. It almost looks like what a Tesla would look like today with like a computer screen on it.
Yeah.
And, accelerating really fast. So I think we're living in the future. I really do.
Is that like a camera on the window?
It might be. There's something there. Yeah. Is that a camera?
Yeah.
It's something.
Somebody pointed that out recently, and I had sent that to. I had actually sent that to Matt and then asked him like if he had that in his book because I couldn't find it, and I asked him if he knew about it, and he never got back to me. So I don't know if he ever noticed that, but I would think he would. Like, what is that supposed to be?
Huh.
I've seen this a million times. First time I've ever noticed that.
Yeah, I've never seen it before. Maybe Al was bringing a Christmas tree back to the headquarters.
I gotta say, I like the trippy LED
In
earrings.
September? Well, we don't know it. We don't know
I
it.
don't remember the shiny LED stuff that they were wearing in 1999. I don't remember ever actually seeing that.
Dennis Wolfberg.
Yeah, he was the best.
Yeah.
The late Dennis Wolfberg.
So
R.I.P.
is
So, like,
that smoke around him smoke, or is it from Gucci's breath? Is what I want to know.
Well, I don't know where it's coming from because if you look at the shot of Sam leaping, it's just going straight up. So where is that coming from? Is that coming out of the room? Is it highly pressurized? Or is he just like standing in front of the air conditioner? I'm not sure.
Maybe Beyonce is behind him.
Yeah, you might be at a concert just phoning it in. You're right. You're right.
Love this theme song.
Flying through the
What if
clouds.
that was mistletoe and just Al has mistletoe hanging from the roof of his car just in case anybody gets in? That sounds like
an
Al.
Al thing to do.
Yeah, that's a retcon we could do, right?
Alexis. Theme music.
Theme music. Get leaping.
Theme music.
Stacy
Leaping
is
throughout time.
giving up, but she's in the chat.
Theme
Now-
music.
One thing I always wondered, this always reminded me a lot of the beginning of Back to the Future Part 2.
Yeah.
And I wondered, like, who came up with the idea first?
Get leaping throughout time. So this opening can't be the original opening because it's showing like scenes from every single season, right?
Right.
Yeah, episodes that at the time didn't exist.
Yeah, so it must be they re-edited it there.
I think
Man
the
Macho.
original opening was the basically you just had the clouds and then you had the
Clouds,
credits
yeah, that's
over
what I'm
that.
seeing.
We're gonna be
Yeah,
far
just
behind.
opening credits like a movie, and then
We're
I
gonna
think
be
on this one
behind.
it's still like that. Last time I watched it,
Yeah,
Oh,
the clock.
Like
might have been the Laserdisc. Yeah, kind of like where Scott's narrating over the clouds, but longer with music.
So, just quick question: do you guys have a promo right now? Are you guys on the show?
I'm on the show at the moment.
I'm almost- He's
It's reading Bruce McGill, and it's flying over the desert. Now we're on the alarm clock, 4:59,
okay. So the Peacock edit is different than
5
the
a.m.
live airing.
Yeah, our versions are
I'm
different.
still seeing commercials.
Yeah, so I've got commercials on.
Because Sam just said, "Oh boy," and I started a little bit later than everybody else. So
I started
Oh.
right when Albie
I just
said
now
go.
got the
and
title
I'm a
sequence
little
of
bit
the
ahead.
Genesis.
Oh, commercials! I don't know anything about commercials. I ban them in my house. They make you buy things.
I guess I should have put the DVD on.
commercials what?
They're
Blu-ray.
too expensive. Yeah, Blu-ray is good,
Commercials what?
but I think we've all seen it enough times. Jennifer Onion getting out of bed.
Yep, she's
And,
Fast forward a little
Well,
bit.
pulling toast out of the toaster. Sam's in the bathroom. He's about to reach for the Burma shave.
Burma shave.
I'm
Yeah, I
just
think-
at the toast
I think the
now.
Peacock edit is different than the regular version.
Maybe. Right now, Scott's looking at the pregnant belly
Oh, I'm ahead of that.
in the Peacock version that we started right now.
So Albie, in the Peacock version, do they
Oh.
have like the regular Quantum Leap theme in the beginning?
Yeah, just the normal theme.
Oh, okay. See, that might
That might be what's going on.
Yeah, because
Yeah, this. In all honesty, I couldn't fit it in my floppy drive. So
It didn't show far enough.
I would think
Yeah.
it would be just a wee bit too fat.
maybe.
because he's in the shower right now, and I started like a second later because when I pressed play, it didn't play.
Still in the shower
Oh.
with his undies on.
Yeah, in the see-through white underwear in the shower, wet underwear contest.
How
Yeah.
80s.
It looks real. It smells real.
It's gotta be real.
I feel it's okay that all of our episodes are a little bit off because everyone watching at home along with us will have the same issues. So
Yeah.
that way
Yeah,
we're all in
they
it
just
together.
know, like, oh yeah, follow Suzanne Smiley.
Yep, she knows what's going on.
First thing that goes through my mind, he puts the Burma shave on, and it's like, okay, yeah, sure, just stick it right up your nose. Good idea. Because he totally does. And it's just like, wait, you need to breathe. That's important.
You.
Yeah, Sam seems a little bit in shock because he's like, okay, I'll just shave my face. And then he doesn't. And then he's standing in the street in underwear. Just weird.
And he's like, wow, I've got chest hair.
I'm sure his neighbors appreciated that.
And a drippy Santa Claus beard.
And he ends up not shaving his face. So I wonder if he
Yeah.
got written up at work for that. I don't know. It was a different time back then.
I don't know.
It
Tom
was.
didn't look too scruffy, so I guess he's
Yeah, I was just gonna say he looks pretty clean shaven to me.
Mm.
Well, I think he's got like
Get in the
bandages
right
on
hat.
when he's riding with Bird Dog later.
Yeah,
The
you're right.
mirror work wasn't so good back then.
No.
The stunt double for them weren't really
Just moving
practicing.
just a little bit. Well, in the mirror.
Yeah, Jennifer stunt
I'm
double
very like crazy.
a little off. Scott and whoever played the Leapy. Who was that, Brian? Do you know?
Well, what's the question? I'm sorry, I was looking at something.
Who was the
Who played
lead
Tom?
here?
Oh, who played Tom? All right, let's see. Just a second. Tom Stratton was Lane Beamer.
Ooh,
LA
Lane
White.
Beamer.
Lane Beamer.
Shout out to Lane Beamer.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah,
In
him and
Dewey Finn 21's asking, do you think Dennis knew he'd come back sometime in the future or of the show, or was he just planned for one episode? At that point, it would have just been one episode. They didn't know there was going to be a season 2 and 3, and Dennis didn't appear again until season 4, I believe.
yeah, it was late.
Yeah, and that's the
Pilot.
4th season premiere.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool. They brought him back for that.
I kind of like. I kind of think sometimes like if they had the format we have now back then, how much more of Dennis Wolfberg and everyone we would have saw, and how crazy and cool that would have been.
Yeah.
Probably like the novels. I mean, that's kind
Yeah,
of what I
yeah.
thought with the new series. How they spent some time in the at the project.
Something that occurs to me every single time I watch this is the fact that this was the pilot. Like they didn't even know if this was going to sell the show yet.
Right.
And
he was the pilot.
the thing that it became, it just makes me wonder what that must have felt like when the show was picked up and it became what it became. Like their minds must have been exploding.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but yeah, it shows that he did shave because he's got that little.
Yeah, he's got
paper on
that
his
toilet
lip.
paper on his face.
Yeah.
So apparently he got back in and finished his shower.
Somehow.
As you do after you're leaping around in
Continuity
time.
So I didn't see this episode when it first aired. I actually would have been 10 going on 11 because it wouldn't have been my birthday yet. But I did watch
Young
this.
kids.
The first episode I ever saw was One Strobe Over the Line. And or at
That's a
least
crazy one.
part of it. Like I saw it live because I started watching it and my dad wasn't paying attention and he's like, "Oh, it's 10 o'clock, time for bed." And I was like, "Oh, I want to watch it." I never got to see the end of that until years later, like in when I was in high school, ninth grade. We started watching on the USA Network, and every night we'd sit as a family and watch it, and we wound up, watching the whole series through that way. And then they at first they only had like the first 3 seasons, or maybe first 2 seasons, and then it would loop through again. And then finally they'd get the next season and go, "Oh, there's new episodes for us to watch." At the same time, of course, we're watching the current one, but was already like in the 5th season by that point. The second episode I ever saw, the first episode I ever saw all the way through was Ghost Ship. And that was another instance where my dad told me to go to bed, but I had a TV in my room by that point. And I turned the volume down really low, and I got really close to the screen, and I watched it that way. And I was kind of hooked then, because by that point I was already really obsessed with Back to the Future, and I was like, "Ooh, time travel! This is really cool. I have no idea what's going on, but this seems really like who's the guy that nobody else can see?" And but yeah, that was the first episode I ever saw all the way through, but it wasn't really. That was like 13. Maybe 12. It wasn't until we got cable, and then they started airing on the USA Network that we actually got to start watching them and understanding what was going on. And then it was all over for me. Then I was obsessed.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like 8 years old when this episode first aired. I didn't see it until I was like 12.
I was 19 when this came out.
Yeah.
So I'm the youngest here. How about that?
What year?
89.
You and me, we're the 2 youngest, Albie.
Yep.
The baby of the babies for the Quantum Leap.
89. I was thinking 79.
Yeah, Michelle had been about 12 when this came out.
Sam has arrived.
I've seen this episode so many times, though. I mean, I could probably recite it word for word, so I definitely don't need the volume. I know exactly what's going on.
Right. Dewey
Sam
says that he's realized that the actress in Vickman's student at the beginning of the original Ghostbusters is Jennifer Runyon.
Yep.
Jennifer Runyon. Every time I'm like, I interviewed her. I talked to her when I watch Ghostbusters. Looks like Sam is joining us. They're from the Fates Wide Wheel podcast. I'm sure you know that. If not, check it out. So much good content.
Hey, Sam.
What's up, Sam?
How's it going?
We are watching Genesis Part 1, and at least in the Peacock version, Sam and Bird Dog are driving right now.
Aha. Excellent. Fantastic.
Maybe.
I think now they can.
In the Blu-ray version, they don't have him muted.
John Allen Nelson, Bird Dog.
Did they ask Sam?
He's leaping. Sam is leaping.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. Hang on one second.
Of course, we have God, Time, Fate, Whatever right there. We have Bruce McGill.
There he is.
Love Bruce McGill.
Famous character actor.
So, what are our fan theories? Do we think he's the same character in this episode? And
Oh no, we lost
Uh
Albie.
oh.
Nope.
Yeah, lost Albie.
Oh no, we
We lost
lost.
our host.
Well, do we think he's the same
Fourth
character?
time.
I don't think it's the same character
No,
personally.
No, I don't think so either.
Because otherwise, the Doctor would have to be the same character too, and that would just be weird.
Right.
Is where he's at. It's drawn on. I think it's drawn on Sam's memories or something, and that's why everyone looks
right.
like previous sleeps.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Or Belisario just likes to recast everybody in multiple roles and multiple characters.
You know,
They did that a lot back in the day. They don't do that as much now, but they used actors a lot back in the day.
More so than now, but yeah, like you'll still look at different episodes of NCIS and multiple, like the same actor will play multiple characters like years later.
Right.
Well, it's funny because here in Chicago they film all the Chicago shows, so they get a lot of Chicago actors for guest spots and supporting roles and that sort of stuff. And it's written in that if you are on one of the shows, you cannot be on any of the other shows unless you're playing the same character for I believe 3 years.
Oh, that's cool.
So so it's like it's the rule here for those shows, and I imagine it's similar for like Law and Order in New York and that sort of thing. But of course, they've had a lot of actors that have guested multiple times too.
Yeah, I know there's been actors on Law and Order that's been on different episodes as different characters. In fact, I remember one that was on an episode a couple years later. They were on as a different character.
I think we would be,
but
we might be live streaming.
Hey, Albie, you're back.
We can hear you, Albie. We can hear you, Serenity.
We can.
Can't see you.
Yeah.
You're in spirit.
Now, we're all on a little bit of a different time schedule watching the show, but coming up, Al, you see him in the back of the plane, but at one point it's not him, it's a stand-in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So look for that if you've never seen that before.
Yeah, we got a commercial
all
again.
kinds of stuff here.
If at any point
Am
in
I
the show
here? Did I leap back?
We can hear you.
We can hear you. You would just can't see you. I was just saying, if at any point in the show you hear anybody quietly sobbing in the background, it's me crying over Dean Stock while I'm fine. I haven't really watched this or anything that he's been in since he passed. So this is jumping back in for me a little sooner than I think I might have been ready for.
Yeah. It's strange. I still don't know that I have completely contextualized his passing and, what it means to me as someone who never knew him or met him. I've watched a few episodes, obviously here and there, especially anything that, was seemingly connected or referenced in the Revival series, but I haven't, I haven't really sat down to do any sort of rewatch of the show or any specific episodes outside of that since then.
Yeah, I was very, very deeply attached to him as an actor. Even ended up taking my professional name from him because of how deeply he inspired me. And for a while, I had a group up after he had his second stroke. Just sending positive vibes and, trying to keep people as updated as possible in his condition. And Deborah was helping us for a while, and then, it all dropped off, and he moved to New Zealand, and then he died. So.
Yeah, he was supposed to come to Atlantic City. I had tickets to go with my friend to the Atlantic City Nostalgia Convention or something.
Yeah.
And that was when it happened.
Yeah.
And they just said that he was sick and he had canceled. So we didn't really know at the time what was going on, and it was just I never actually got to meet him.
Yeah.
So that would have been my chance. So.
Yeah, I know. Same. The only real communication I had with him was through Deborah during that time that we were having the page updating people on his condition, and everybody was sending in messages, so I was constantly messaging her passing on messages to Dean from people, and that was the most contact I ever had with him, and it wasn't even directly with him.
Mhm.
But he was a pretty big inspiration to me as a kid. So it was hard when he finally
I
passed.
know I can sympathize, empathize because I know what if anything ever happens to Scott, I'll be
Ooh.
inconsolable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Scott's a big hero of mine.
Yes.
Yeah, and
We'll have to all get a good cry together then.
on the
I was
day
happy
that
I got a
don't want
chance
to
to meet
think
him.
about it. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, I know.
Ugh.
On the day that Dean died, my life had actually taken a pretty crazy 360-degree turn, and there was a lot of things going on all at once on that day. And then I got the news, and I was like, okay, I can't do this.
Mhm.
I I went
Yeah.
to bed for the rest of the weekend. Like I was
Ugh.
not okay.
So my screen here, Tony Lamont is trying to break the sound barrier, breaking Mach 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's
I'm on the same page as you, Suzanne. That's where I
yeah.
am too.
He's that Larry Poindexter plays Tony Lamont, and he's a huge character actor. He was just in something recently that we watched like this past week, and I was like, he looks really familiar. Who is that? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's him again. It's just Tony Lamont again.
Yeah. Yeah, every single time
Yeah,
I
there's
see
a
him, I go, "That's that guy from Quantum Leap."
Yeah.
there's a lot of actors that appear in this episode that were also in Jag,
Oh yes.
which was
Yes,
yeah.
that's why. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, it's like
Completely forgot
in
about that.
Jag, whatever I forget, he was some kind of admiral or something in Jag. It was the actor who played Tibby. So every time we would see him in Jag, I'd be like, Tibby, it's Tibby. And my husband's like, he always knows him as Admiral, whatever his name is. So whenever when we see him on like NCIS now, it's like a different character, of course, because why not? And he'll be like, oh, it's Admiral, whatever. I'm like, no, it's Tibby.
Uh-oh, kaboom.
he just went boom.
Oi. That's one heck of a way to go.
Well, I don't think he dies here.
No, he just.
Well, I'm just saying, if he had have done, that would have been one heck of a way to go.
Well, Stacey was saying in our podcast that the story that this was based on, the actual pilot did die doing this.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been too dark for a first episode,
Just
so.
a little,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh look, they're all like, oh, and then there you see the
Oh look,
parachute.
it's a slow motion 80s landing. Woohoo!
See, you're slightly ahead of me even.
Yeah.
I'm like, Albie's way behind.
Looks like Albie's trying to log back in again. Does anybody recognize the actress with the dark hair and the green dress? I cannot remember her name.
The neighbor?
Yeah.
Yes, that is Lydia Cornell.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I got to meet her at the 2009 convention.
Really?
She was very nice.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I missed all that stuff because I kind of got out of watching Quantum Leap and out of the fandom for like about maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
And then I started watching it again when I was I was on the exercise bike and I would go for like an hour a day. And I needed something to watch for that time period. I was like, I haven't watched Quantum Leap in a while. Let me take that out. And then it was like all the feelings came back, all the emotions came back. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot how great a show this was. And that was like in like 2012, I think. And it was like I was just like obsessed all over again, and it hasn't stopped. Of course, having the Quantum Leap podcast and everything else, everybody else who's been revisiting the shows, it makes it easier to not kind of forget all the great episodes and great memories from the show.
Yeah, I have the misfortune of being too young for literally everything. So by the time I get to the point where I'm interested in these things, all of the fandom stuff and whatnot has usually died down, or
Yeah.
literally all of the cast members are dead, and it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, forget it.
I have a tendency to start watching shows 5 years after they ended, and nobody cares anymore.
Well, that's a little bit better than me. I mean, I've been watching TV shows that have been over for 50 years.
Yeah, now that someone pointed out that was Lydia Cornell, I can't unsee it.
Right.
I never recognized. I knew she looked familiar. I didn't place it.
She was wearing a wig. Yeah.
With the dark hair, I didn't recognize her. But yeah, now that someone pointed out who that is, I'm like, oh, okay, I know who that is now.
I was watching it. We were watching an episode. I know it was no. I'm trying to think of what movie it was. It was some movie my husband was watching, and it had come out in like the 60s or maybe 70s. And it was like the scene where it was like all, actually maybe the 60s, because like all these girls come out and they're all like scantily clad and they're like running and like with all like the the big cars and everything, and they're like and my husband's like, and I'm like, they're all grandmas now. He's like, thanks for killing the mood.
Oh my.
Al kind of has crazy eyes in the bar.
Crazy hair.
The bar scene is one of my favorite scenes in the entire episode. The bar scene and the drive home, and then when Sam wakes up, pretty much this entire sequence that's coming is probably my favorite stretch in the entire episode, with the exception of Sam calling his dad at the end.
Yeah.
I just think there's something about the way that Sam is figuring things out. That's the way that Scott is kind of just really starting to, I think, from terms of how we're watching the episode play out, it just feels a lot like Sam as we get to know him later on. And there's something so lovely about when he's driving back with Peg, the fact that he would be willing to just live Tom's life if that's what he has to do. Like I'll do this. Like I could totally see myself with this woman. And then of course, as he starts to remember his sister and his father and where he's from, and gets those memories back, it's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the boogeyman has arrived.
Pretty darn handsome boogeyman, just saying.
Let's shout out to everybody in the chat real quick. Lee, Calavero, Dewey Finn 21 still with us, Alejandro. Natalie Kirk says, just woke up. What have I missed? Well, Natalie, we're in the bar. We're in the bar, and Al's about to come in there. Sam's talking to Peg about dancing, I believe. Or not dancing.
Not taking a break. Taking it easy.
Yeah, he wants her to sit one out. Because she's pregnant, he wants her to take it easy. But really, he wants to go talk to Al.
He wants to talk to the boogeyman.
The boogeyman. Not supposed to say that. Well, not supposed to say when we talk about that episode, but yeah.
Can you say when you're referring to him in this episode? Am I dead? I just love Scott's facial expressions as he's trying to work through this in his head, and he's got some great facial expressions.
Yeah.
Kind of funny that they made Tom a prankster.
Yeah.
So that they just dismissed Sam talking to himself as being a prank.
Right.
Al's just stomping off in the distance.
The only time that Al actually has to go somewhere to leave the imaging chamber.
Uh-huh.
He can't find the door.
Poor guy. He's so confused. He's like, wait, what?
Where'd he go?
He opened a door in the sky and just walked away.
Show looks pretty good for being 35 years old.
Oh yeah.
Right?
That's when you know it's a good show, is when it can cross through different decades and
Mm.
still be timeless.
Yeah, well, one of the things about this episode too, as opposed to some of the later episodes, is that it was all shot on film, and there was no. Of course, you still had an abundance of stock footage that was used, but not the whole series. Unfortunately, wasn't shot on film. So this episode, compared to some of the others in particular, upscales quite nicely for higher resolution televisions, and with the remaster that Mill Creek did on the series, the Blu-ray actually is quite nice.
The later episodes, if they didn't shoot on film, what did they film on?
It probably would have been a combination. Well, I mean, they probably did use film for some, but for some they would have used like videotape. Like it's or it would have been film to tape rather. Whereas this episode probably would have been strictly film. They would have done film to tape mastering on later episodes because it was cheaper.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's one of the reasons it's to pull in some Star Trek. Obviously, it's one of the reasons, for instance, why Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It can't be remastered as easily as other shows because it was all film to tape. So they would have to actually go back and use the original film and re-edit all of the episodes and use that in order to upscale. It's similar with Quantum Leap. Like if they wanted to do like a true full remaster, they'd have to go back and re-edit all the episodes. And who knows if all of that footage even exists anymore, because one of the reasons why it was cheaper to do is they didn't have to store the film afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Did they change how they filmed? Sorry.
Sorry, I was just saying, I remember seeing the behind the scenes on Star Trek Next Generation DVD set, and they were talking about the process that they had to go through to preserve it and, you know, bump the quality up for the DVD master and then for the Blu-ray, and yeah, so that fits what you were saying.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and with Next Gen, they were willing to spend the money and create new special effects and everything as well, which is also another reason why it's so difficult, is because you have to, in most instances, you'd have to actually create new special effects because they wouldn't actually be done in the same resolution, so they would stick out like a sore thumb. See Babylon 5, for instance, the remaster of that.
Oh, ouch.
Hey, we got Deb Burry in the chat. Hello, Deb.
Hi, Deb.
Alejandro says they like Timeless. Great show also. I like that one.
Did they change how they filmed in season 5? Because season 5 kind of looks better and newer.
I'm not 100% sure. They very well may have. I mean, I know that they were doing everything they could to cut costs at that point, so I'm not sure, how they did things. But it's one of the reasons too why a lot of those episodes, with the exception, of course, of like Lee Harvey Oswald, don't have a lot of locations. They filmed as cheap as they could, and so it's not quite as they didn't have to dress as much, for instance, in some of those episodes, because a warehouse was a warehouse, An island was an island. Although they did, for Mirror Image, obviously they did recreate Don's dad's bar.
Right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, down to every doorknob. I mean, every detail he could
on the wall. Yeah. It's pretty incredible.
That reverse Powers of 10 wide shot that they did where he's crashing back down is so trippy. Whew. kind of a good way to show going back in time a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's supposed to be when Al says, "We tried to get you, you wouldn't leap."
Yeah.
Right.
So that's supposed to be showing that at their time. You're like, what's happening?
Yeah. He's trying to leap, and
Yeah.
Something that they never duplicated again. They never tried to show something like that again, in spite of the fact that there were a couple of other attempts mentioned. Although I think one of them happens off screen, and then one is of course in Double Identity, which doesn't work.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the only other time I could think of when they tried to retrieve Sam was in the season 4 premiere at the end, and they actually show him like starting to weep and then not.
Yeah.
And then Al mentions the leap that we never see.
Scott is just so good in this. I mean, just the facial expressions, just like you can see what's going on in his head. I mean, like right now, where it's it's narrating what he's thinking, but like you can just really see him just going through the different emotions, and it's just he's such a good emotional actor.
Yeah, he's always been
very
very
good.
at conveying that with everything that he's done. Whoops.
You really are there with him. Like,
yeah,
you really feel for him. You
Yeah.
want him to succeed.
I think it's interesting, over the course of the first season in general, is that I think they had a hard time really figuring out the tone of the show in a lot of respects. And Scott, of course, is game for everything. But it's funny to me that I think Scott feels more like Sam in Genesis than he does in a lot of other episodes in the first season.
Oh yeah.
I think that obviously there are other episodes like Color of Truth obviously stands out that he certainly does, but some of the other episodes not nearly as much as what we'll come to see in season 2 in particular.
Does anybody know who the kid is? He looks familiar.
Mikey is played by Christian Van Doren.
It's his only acting credit.
Really?
He has no other acting credits.
Well, then there's an adult actor that looks a heck of a lot like him now, because I've seen someone.
Maybe he changed his name.
Maybe. That's highly possible.
So I'm glad that websites like Al's Place and similar exist now, because when I was 14 years old and watching these episodes repeatedly, I thought that I was the only one, because anybody I would ask, I'd be like, "If you watch Quantum Leap," and they'd be like, "Oh, is that show where that guy's a woman all the time?" And I'm like, "Oh no!" Like out of 100 episodes, it only happened 8 times, so it's not all the time. But
it's funny you say that, because when Aaron was talking to me about starting our podcast, that was the first episode I ever remember, is when he was pregnant, and that's how I remember the show. It was some guy who was the woman, and it was so confusing, and that's how I remembered it.
That is hysterical.
But I would go through and like this is actually vintage out of my thing here. I would go through like all the occupations and every episode, what he was, what his name was, the occupation he had, and just like pages of stuff like that, pages of notes. I made my own episode guide because there was no internet to look up for the episode guide.
Right,
so.
yeah.
I did something similar, and then I remember when the Quantum Leap A to Z book came out, I was like, "Oh, now I don't have to write so much of this down."
Exactly.
And then, of course, Al's Place came along, and all my prayers were answered.
I have these other lists here that are it is all of the years in order and what episodes, like how many episodes took place in which year, so I can figure out the right years that they had skipped. So like,
That's so fantastic.
I love that so much. I did not do that with Quantum Leap, but I did do that with The Prisoner. During the pandemic in 2020, I was doing a podcast with a friend of mine that was based on that show. It only lasted for 4 episodes, but we were trying to go through and chronicleize everything and figure out potentially when different episodes had been filmed and what their original airing order was supposed to be, because when it finally did air, none of the episodes aired in the order that they were supposed to. So it gave the show an even more trippy feel on top of the already trippy feel that the show had. And it made everything really doubly confusing. So we were trying to go through and figure out if there was a different way that it made more sense, and we did ended up figuring it out, but it was there was a lot of that crazy, going through and writing, okay, well, this episode aired on this day in this year, and this person was in charge of it, and this person did that. And so I still have my notes, Suzanne, from that time. It was kind of fun, but it was exhausting. I think that was part of the reason why this show didn't last long.
This was my whole binder.
Oh my gosh!
Oh wow!
My Quantum Leap.
Wow,
that is amazing.
That's fantastic.
Suzanne.
And that's when I discovered Al's place. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm done, because I have like a whole, like in the beginning I have like of course I've got the Saga Cell, and and of course I had to transcribe all that, and I had to hand type it because there was no place to find this stuff.
Right.
I had to type it too.
I had like stuff.
That's cool though.
Internet days.
I thought about digitizing it at one point. I just never got around to it. And now it's like now these days you can't really, unless you pay for it, you can't really make a website anymore. It's all social media. So I was going to
put it on a free website. It sucks.
Yeah. Well, my son, he's 8, and he wants to make an old school HTML website. And other than like Google Sites, which still you have to like just use a template. He just wants to. I think he found a website where he could like use like a text file, type all the HTML and then upload it. I think he finally found something. But if he wanted to do anything fancy with it, of course you have to pay for it. So like nothing is none. Like, there's no free websites anymore.
That reminds me of MySpace back in the day, when if you wanted to make changes to your profile, you had to go in there and type the HTML in yourself.
Yeah.
Gone are the days. Gone are the days. Like, I cannot even remember how to do that now, and that was kind of an important skill. It's a shame that I wasn't able to retain that, because it would have been useful.
I still have that and still use it.
I'm
Are
sure.
you kidding? Oh my gosh!
Most places all HTML. It's all
That's awesome.
stuff.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's really awesome.
That is amazing.
I have to run, but I'm so glad that I got to drop in for a bit. It's good to see everybody.
It was great to chat with you, Sam.
Yeah, I'm
Thanks
so
for
glad I got
coming.
to be here. Take care, everybody, and happy 35th to Quad.
Happy
35th
anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Bye-bye. Oh, they're nice. I think that's the first time I've talked to them before.
Now they're having the picnic where I'm watching outside now.
See, I'm
basically almost
I'm on the
end of part
picnic
2, or part 1 rather.
So I'm at where Sam's fishing, and he's talking to Al in the bathrobe.
Is that where it breaks for the second part? I can't remember.
No.
It breaks after the picnic. Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, okay.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna head out when this breaks as well, because it's getting a little bit late.
I have to as well. I got to go to bed too. I got to work in the morning.
Well, it's good seeing you guys. Well, good seeing you, Dave. Good hearing you, Natasha.
Both of you.
I wasn't
One
planning
of
on
these
sticking
days
around
you'll
this
be able
long,
to
but
see my face someday. I suppose. Maybe I'll just remain anonymous for now.
There you go.
Keep my mystique going.
That'll be your thing.
Yeah.
Yes, him on Peacock, and right now Al's explaining how everyone has to think that he's Tom, and until Tuesday. Tuesday be a little late. He's gonna fly the X2 on Monday.
Dun, dun, dun.
all right, guys. Have a good night. Happy
Good day.
35th.
You too.
It's good hanging with you people.
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys.
Take
Bye.
care.
All right, let's go to the chat here for a minute. I got to back up. Let's see what all we got here. Deb says Scott's acting as Sam really takes you along with his leaps. Absolutely.
Yep.
Calvero says I still have issues of quantum quarterly in the imaging chamber somewhere. Yes, me too. You can see a lot of those on Al's Place too. I've got them on there. Go to the fan fiction section. You
Are
just
we
about
here?
every tons of those fan
Can you
pics
hear
are in
us?
there,
Yes,
or
we
at least the covers of them are.
I can
Well,
hear
we're
you
here.
guys.
Are we here?
We can hear you, but we
Are
can't
we
see.
back? Okay, well, at least we're kind of here.
At least.
Hey,
So-
welcome back.
Sam and
Hey,
someone's had to drop out.
that's cool.
Wait.
My VHS, my VCR ate my tape,
Oh
so it was I had to take the top off with a screwdriver
Right?
and pull all the tape out and wind it back on the cassette, and then put the cassette back. So many Phillips head screws.
So long.
There was a spring I didn't know where it went, but
Yeah.
I think we're good now.
I hope.
What
I
episode
hope-
are we on now? Are we on Play It Again Seymour yet?
No.
Not quite.
I hope
Did
you're
we start
ready
the
to
second
salvage
episode?
The tape.
No, not yet.
No.
We're-
No, I was just going to chat a little bit.
Okay.
Dr. Sam Beckett says, greetings from somewhere in time from our Twitter community. Happy to be sharing this with you guys.
Woo! Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary!
Woohoo.
Yeah, I'm on Peacock, and we're at they're at the picnic
Okay.
where Peggy just went in the house, and Sam sending his son in to help.
Well, episode 1 just ended for me, so I'm gonna head out, you guys. It was good to be
Okay.
here. Thank
It was
you
nice
for
to see you,
inviting
Zoe.
me. Nice to see
Yeah.
you too, even though I didn't.
Or
see
for
you.
us to hear each other.
I was
Have a
just
good night,
saying.
Natasha.
I was just saying a little while ago when you guys were still gone. Maybe I'll just keep my mystique and the anonymity going.
I
That can be my bag.
like it.
Okay, you guys, take care. Thanks for inviting me.
You too. Happy
Bye.
30th.
Thank you.
Happy anniversary to you all. Bye.
Deb in the
Yeah.
chat, she remembers keeping notes too on Sam's Leapies. And then the A to Z came out. Loved when Al's Place started. It's great work. Thank you. Thank you. Who else we got here? Hold on. I scrolled too far. Gav Ellis. When, if ever, did they change the rules of the imaging chamber? Where they see the person in the chamber as Sam, the Sam change later. I want to say somewhere in season 3 that all changed. For sure. I think it changed before that.
Well, I know in. Trying to think. What price Gloria Sam or Al saw Sam as the Leapy.
Right, season 2.
And I'm trying to think, didn't they make an adjustment then so he didn't see her? Or am I mistaken on that?
No, they kind of breezed over it for a while and never really said anything. And then eventually, you knew, Al saw Sam as Sam.
Right.
No, what's wrong? What?
Are we live streaming audio?
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Hi, Serenity.
Hey.
And mine just ended.
Okay, so we're should we take a 5 or should we go to the next episode? Where are we at here?
Let's take a quick 5.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll vamp.
I'll do a couple of chats. I was a kid when the transition from MySpace to Facebook happened. Alejandro said that.
Alejandro!
Dr. Sam Beckett loved the Alice Place forums back in the day. Hey, we got new forums, buddy. Come on over. New ones that work great, work a lot better. Being in the UK up till 3 a.m. chatting with other fans on MSN. Yeah, those were amazing times. You're right. You are right.
There.
Can you guys see us?
Not yet.
DeweyFan21, I think is talking to Albie. Well, you've been gone so long that we're now on Goodbye Norma Jean. Charles Ball's out of here. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary!
Calvera says, watching chat, missed Al talking about string theory. Note, we paused right there. We're picking up with part 2 where he starts talking about the string theory here in about 5 minutes. All right, so I'm going to take a quick break too. I'll be right back.
All right.
Sounds good.
Who's not taking a break? Who wants to chat with us while we try to get our camera working?
I'll chat. Where does the second half start? Because mine just goes all the way through.
I would say 46 minutes.
That sounds about right. Let's see where I
That's
am.
my guess, because on Peacock, they're 45 and 45.
Okay, but then there's end credits too, though, right?
Oh, my goodness. It's like I didn't think this through.
And beginning credits.
Yeah, and then the recap.
Yeah.
Just look for somebody in a baseball uniform.
So I'm going to
Baseball
fast forward
Is that
through the
where it starts?
credits.
Leave him alone.
I'm not sure. Mr. Baseball.
No, I
Tom
don't,
So you
Selleck.
don't get
that's
the
not
recap and all that. Now I've got the opening credits, which you don't have. So are we
yeah.
going to start from the actual episode, or are we going to start from the beginning with the credits and all that?
I'd say most of the rewatches are going to watch with Peacock, so we might as well just start at the beginning of the Peacock episode.
Okay.
That's my guess. And then I'll have computer issues, and then I'll be gone for 40 minutes, and then I'll come back for the wrap up.
Goodbye. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we have a plan. Hopefully it doesn't go awry.
Yeah, but I need to know where it starts.
I'll let you know in a minute. I was fast forwarding, but I've hit a commercial.
Gotcha. Okay.
So what was the last thing we saw in the last episode?
They were at the picnic, and Sam was inside talking to Peggy.
Okay. I think I'm beyond that. Did you see the scene where they call Sam into the office to talk about his? That might be cut out of that. They call him to the office to talk about his the answers to the
Not yet.
Okay, so I have to back it up then.
That's
I just
probably
realized
where
that, the
I
TV
guess
version
that's
doesn't
probably
have
where
that.
we'll start.
Piggy Suey.
No, we're not on that episode.
Not yet.
We
Up
haven't
all
got.
night with Albie and Stacy. Where is Stacy? I see her name. There she is.
I see her.
I see her picture. This technology has not been perfected yet.
Am I
I want
here?
my money back.
So this episode starts with Sam walking around the X2 looking at it.
Okay, gotcha. So like, oh no, still going.
That's
I'm gonna try to go out and come back in to see if my camera will work then.
Okay,
While we're on 5.
okay. So it really does end with like she realizes he kisses her and she realizes it's the wrong kiss.
Yeah.
And that's where it actually. That's where the previous one ends.
This next scene, yeah, he's looking around the X2. He's looking in the window.
Okay, gotcha. So I'll pause it right at the end of the picnic scene.
Why don't we pause it at a certain person's name, and then everybody can hit that name?
Well, because I don't think that.
There's no credits on mine.
Yeah, she doesn't have any credits on hers.
Because I
Hers
have
is
it
all
all
together.
one movie. Oh, there we go. Pause.
And I'm back. Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you. You and Miss Sarah.
Woo!
So
Can
am
you
I
hear me?
here or not?
Oh,
Yes,
there
we
you
can see you and hear you.
Hey, we
go.
can see
There you
you.
are.
My apologies. Yay, Brian's back. Brian, you've been gone for like 45 minutes. What happened?
Goodbye, Norma Jean.
Goodbye, Norma Jean.
Yes, we are. We just finished that one.
Rennie got some cheesecake. I took too long putting the VHS back together.
So,
Before we start the next episode, did anybody bring a leap and look?
yes, that's what I was going to tell you.
Woo! What do you have?
Where is this? Is the first page? No. My Quantum Leap scrapbook from the 90s,
Wow.
which has all kinds of amazing stuff that you could probably all find on Al's place now. Back then, I thought I was like the only archivist.
Well, like,
Wow.
hey, you should send me some of those pictures. That comic book thing I don't have.
There you go.
Put it on there. I just updated the comic book section with all kinds of new stuff, and the novel
Oh,
section
okay.
too.
Well, it's a little bit worn out because I I used rubber cement, and apparently that's not archival, and it's turned stuff brown. But
Ah.
I have like letters to the editor.
Ooh.
Cool. Yes.
I think we need all that stuff.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool to show.
I have some of the magazines. I know you have a lot of these.
Wow. I ordered a lot of those off eBay, the TV Guide ads and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a ton of those. I love those.
Where's the one I had? I had one where it said a turn of where they said they were going to do a cartoon episode, and it said a turn as a tune is in his future. Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Quantum's cartoon paper up here.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you should definitely take some pictures of that and send it. I'll put it on there.
All right. Oh, I didn't know that.
Scan it in.
Stuff you didn't have. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got something.
So many
What do you
things
have?
that are on Al's place are given by everybody else. So that's really cool. Oh, that's
I
all.
made
Look at that.
I made it. It's through all the old comic books,
Mm.
and I
Very
have.
nice.
I remember you showing that one time. That is awesome.
He is a handsome man. Both of them.
And then the bottom.
Even on the
very cool. Even on the bottom. Any other leaping looks?
I have more. I bought so many. You go ahead.
VHS. Okay.
And of course, got to have Matt with us a little bit here.
Yep. Well, hey, this is a Matt Dale watched VHS.
Is it?
I got my VHSs from Matt. He sent them
Oh,
to me.
that's cool. Yeah, I've got.
Serenity has one.
I have the connector playbill.
Ooh, very nice.
And Serenity met Scott.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And they talked about Catch a Falling Star.
Great episode.
Yeah.
I think I have one of the better of all time leap and looks. If you're ready, you want to see it. Nobody's watching, right?
Nope.
I know what you're going to show. This is amazing.
Just
Don't
between us, anybody who's keeping up with the new show.
What is it?
I have a screen used copy of Carly Farmer's album,
Oh,
The Traveler.
very nice.
It was if anybody remembers this episode, it's the episode where Ben leaps in as, I think, a security guard.
No, bodyguard.
Bodyguard.
Yeah.
To take care of the singer, Carly Farmer.
Yep.
Played by Deborah Jo Rupp. Is that who it is, Brian?
Deborah Ann Wool.
Deborah Ann Wool. I always get those confused. There we go. But yeah, it's very nicely made. There was only a few made for the episode. It even has a label on the record.
Oh, very nice. Wow.
Pretty cool.
Yep. And
Only about 6 of these, right?
6 or 8, I believe. We're still trying to find out the final number. Yeah, we'll call it 7. But I ordered a really nice frame for it that'll display it nicely. I got it from a friend of the show, and it was overwhelming when I opened it because it's something that I wanted since I first saw the episode, and I had just kept joking about it, putting it out there into the universe. And a friend from the show, one of the producers, heard my pleas to the universe, and this showed up on my door. So
That's amazing.
Does it actually play? Is there anything on it?
yes,
Wondering.
Serenity and I and Chris were playing the music. I was doing it like over the live stream thing, and Chris was trying to figure out what album it actually is. It's like the best of today, but from like 1969. I think I sent you the link, Brian. Did I? Of the album?
Yes. Yes, you did.
It, what chat is it in? Can you pull that up and read the song titles?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Because I don't know if they did it on purpose, but it seems to be Quantum Leapy related. But the music was really good. Of course, it's not Carly Farmer's real album because it's just a TV prop.
Right.
Right.
But thank you so much.
Yeah, so I was wondering if it was blank but then it looks like there's grooves on it. So
It's an actual record. It looks like the production department or the prop department took off the original label and made these new labels and put them on there.
I wonder
nice.
if they all just random records, They just took like random old records and just put the label on them.
I cannot find the chat. I'm sorry, I was talking to Carolyn Seymour, who says she's sorry she can't make it with us tonight, but she's doing something in LA.
Awesome. Love her.
Very nice.
But yeah, there was a lot of song titles on there. I'm sure I'll do a detailed thing on it at some point before I frame it. But it's a fun record. So from I think '69 it came out. Chris finally figured it out. So
great year.
Yeah. So that was my leap and look for this episode.
That's the year I was born, so it's a great year.
My other one is my cool Al's Place shirt that I love.
Love it. And of course, Stacy's got a cool shirt too. I don't know if you talked about it while I was gone.
Yes,
just came back.
Yep. Yeah.
We talked about it before we ended up live.
Part of a time travel experience that went a little caca. Love that.
Love it. All right. I think we're ready to start part 2.
Yeah. So everybody in the chat, yes, we're starting at part 2, which is the airbase where Al's about to walk through the plane.
So are you starting from the beginning of the show, Albie?
The beginning of the episode, yes, just so people can keep as in sync as possible with the Peacock version. Christopher says he's trying to join, so we might get a little Christopher action going on.
Okay.
Hey.
So
so everybody be on the lookout for Christopher, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yes.
So when it gets to the actual episode, say something.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we know.
So I'm gonna start the Peacock stream in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it is starting.
Yeah, because I fast
when it
forward.
gets to the actual part, that's the new part of the episode.
Yeah.
I will let you know. For everyone following at home on their VHS, Laserdisc, 8mm, 8-track Atari cartridge.
So I'm paused right now at the start of the actual episode, so
Awesome.
I already messed mine up.
So I'm just waiting.
That's okay.
Mine started at the end because apparently I was still on it when I was doing my notes for our podcast.
Whoops.
So the thing to know if you're watching the uncut version is you've got that scene about the memory test.
Yes.
That is completely cut out of both the Peacock and the Roku version.
Are you serious?
Is it?
Got the Blu-ray out.
Yeah, they cut the memory test out in its entirety. They mentioned
the
like,
Blu-ray,
hey,
though?
you need to create a test. That line is still in there. But the rest of it is not.
Okay, we're still
Peacock
going on the
version at all.
previously on.
Okay.
So we're gonna
Sarah. Think again in like a second because that's like the second scene.
Yeah.
Oh.
All
Yeah,
right.
I realized how lucky I was back watching it on the USA Network in the 90s because later episodes they started cutting. But I remember like reading, because I think on Al's Place there's like a whole list of stuff that's like cut from the TV versions. And I'm like, but I saw that. So I think I was lucky to see it early enough before they just started like cramming more commercials in and having just cut for time. But I don't know why Peacock would have it cut.
Yeah. Why would streaming have it cut? They have more time. Just put the whole thing
I
on there,
think
right?
it's something they did when they cut it into 2 parts. And just because that's the version they used on streaming, it was already cut.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like whenever they did the 2 parts for TV, that's the version that ended up on Peacock.
So 2-part bad. Okay, gotcha.
All right, Brian, you and I have to have a conference call with
I was going
the people we
crazy,
know
like just the other day because we just
will.
recovered this.
It looks like Jay Schwartz is with us. Hey, Jay.
Ooh, Jay.
Hello, guys.
Special guest, J.D. Schwartz.
How you doing?
As we start the second part of Genesis.
Yeah.
How you doing there?
Good. Nice to see you. How you doing?
Good.
Welcome to the party. 35 years, Jay. 35 years.
Yes, and more. You all having a good time?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How many people
We are
do
having
you
a great
have?
time.
How many people did you
There
have
it
on
is,
here?
the Bell X2.
I think you're the 9th or 10th.
Oh yeah.
I'm seeing that, Serenity. I'm seeing
But
that.
you're number one in my book. Thank you so much, Jay, for getting us great seats at the connector.
It was so good.
It was so good. Scott is amazing in everything.
Good. I'm glad. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you got to see him after and take a picture. All good.
Yeah. It was a lifelong dream come true. And thank you so much, Jay, for that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. What are some of your favorite episodes of Quantum?
This one first.
Genesis?
Philippe Home. Yeah, there's like
Philippe Home Part 1.
Yeah.
MIA.
Yeah.
Great ones.
What
Anyone
about
with Scott in it.
What about Shock Theater?
Oh yeah.
Love Shock Theater.
That makes me
And
sad.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Jimmy.
Definitely Jimmy.
Iconic.
And
Jimmy is a great one.
Black and White on Fire, maybe?
Fire.
Where
Yeah.
CCH Pounder was the guest star.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that was a good one.
Scott worked with her.
And one that I rewatched, during the pandemic when I rewatched the entire series.
It started.
Machinations of Makiko.
Yeah.
Really,
Yes.
that was a really good episode.
That's another favorite.
But one of my favorite episodes was, because it's a funny episode, Thou Shalt Not. That has
not a funny one.
Not funny.
Wait. Then am I saying the wrong title? The one where
that's
he
the one where the
played-
lady goes, and that's when I picked up the shotgun.
No.
No, wait, that's a different one.
Episode where he played a rabbi.
The rabbi. Yeah.
The right hand of God, maybe?
No. It's
Maybe.
The right hand got where he's a boxer.
I'm looking.
It could. Oh yeah, that shall not.
Right hand
yeah.
of God was a boxer.
Boxer.
Boy, I am a
that's-
rabbi. Boxer?
Where he played
No,
a rabbi.
maybe the
I
wrong
thought
stuff.
That was the right. I thought that was Thou Shalt Not.
Thou shalt not is the rabbi.
Yeah, the
It
rabbi
is.
one.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
my
you're right,
fa-
Jay.
that-
You're right.
That episode is very funny. There
When they
were
all
two
got
kisses
together.
with history in that episode, also.
Yes.
It's a good one. It's one I watch often.
I like the
Probably my
truth.
They're all good.
The Witch.
yeah.
Color of Truth. That's one of my favorite ones.
The
That's a good one.
Driving Miss Daisy episode.
Yes.
Starcrossed.
Starcrossed.
Good Morning Peoria. I really love that one.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I may be in the minority, but I like the trilogy.
Yeah, those are
Okay.
good.
That's good.
That's a nice thing when you watch
That
those
was
three.
good.
All of the above.
I like the Starcrossed one.
Two.
Temptation
Two
Eyes.
is my favorite.
What about What Price Gloria?
Another good one.
Oh, for sure.
And Miss Deep South.
Mhm.
Just list all of them.
Scott in those heels,
No,
right?
not everyone. There was one episode that I did not like.
Only one?
And I can't remember the name of the episode, but it was written by Paul Brown. He wrote a few episodes. He wrote a few episodes, but one in particular I did not like. It's the only episode of the entire series that I didn't like. I don't remember which it was. But I remember at the time me calling Scott after the show and saying, I don't like that one.
Was it scary? Was it dreams? Maybe.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just don't remember it. That was a few years ago.
That's not bad. One out of all those.
Yeah, and I wasn't a big fan of Genesis either.
How did that whole thing come about, Jay, with Scott and getting him the pilot and the possible series, and what was the feeling like back then?
I don't know. I didn't do that. Remember, I'm Scott's publicist, even though I take on a whole lot of other things that I do with Scott, just because we're so close for so long. And but his agent brought it to him. He went in and had a meeting with Don. After Don had pitched it to Brandon, and then he had to have a chemistry read with Dean, and if I recall correctly, Scott was saying, like, that's Dean Stockwell. What is the, what's the deal here? And they did, and they hit it off immediately. So, but it just went through his agent, as far as I know. Scott was back in New York doing romance. Mm-hmm. And then he came back to do this. Actually, wait, you're saying today's the 26th. Today is the day that this premiered, right? I was in an airport in Virginia with another client, Blair Underwood, who was on.
I love him.
Oh my God.
Would have been LA Law at that time, right?
What? No, he was on. It was a very popular show by Stephen Bochco on NBC where they played lawyers.
Yeah, LA Law. Yeah.
LA Law, yes.
Yep.
And he and I were back doing press at there's like, Six Flags of Virginia, and that's where Blair was from. And they were doing a whole thing. He was coming back because he used to work there. And then we were in the airport and watching the pilot in the airport, as we were waiting for the flight to come back.
Wow.
So, but
Very
yeah,
cool.
I was on the episode. I was on set for every single episode of Quantum Leap except for Genesis, because Genesis was shot on location.
Was there a long time between the pilot movie and starting the series?
No, I think that got picked up right away.
Hmm.
Sorry. Let me just not take the call from my niece. Yeah. I rewatched. Somebody told me to watch after we did the Q&A at the Connector. They said, "Oh, we watched your trivia." And I said, "What trivia?" And they said, "Google you and Scott." And I Googled, and I sat and I watched that whole thing, and I laughed so hard.
That was fun.
That was so much fun. That was so much fun. I had a really good time with that. A really good time rewatching it, actually. So. But anyway, I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. I just wanted to say, hey, my food is in the oven, so I have to go grab it out, and so it doesn't get overcooked.
Thanks for
happy anniversary, Jay. Happy anniversary.
Happy
anniversary. You too. Thank you. You too. I'm glad you guys are still enjoying.
Nice
and
meeting
I know there's going to be word pretty soon about the imposter
says it's not
show.
interneting.
What?
That'll be cool.
And I don't know. I can't.
Well, stay tuned.
I can't share my.
We'll find out soon.
Yeah, can't wait to hear about that.
Me too. All right, guys.
Thank you so much, Jay. Really appreciate it.
You
Thank
too.
You, for
You too. Happy anniversary.
Happy
Take
anniversary.
care.
Happy anniversary.
You too.
Worship Jay.
You
Bye,
too.
Jay. Bye, Jay.
Take care, guys.
Happy Quantum Leap
Bye-bye.
Day. Bye.
Happy
Thanks,
Quantum Leap Day.
Jay.
Bye.
Bye, Jay.
Bye. Bye.
That's so awesome.
Now you hang up.
No, you hang up.
I think I can.
All
can
right.
you guys
And
hear me?
as Jay is exiting, Christopher is coming aboard.
Hey, Chris.
We're getting Christopher.
I missed the entire thing. I'm sorry.
Can anyone see Christopher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see him?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, long time no see. Where'd they go?
They left.
It was
You
something
scared
I
them
said.
off.
It was something I said or didn't say.
They've been having problems all night.
JD is gone, and now I'll be in Serenity.
They'll be back for about 40 minutes.
It's going in like reverse order of people I've met in person. So Suzanne is next, and then Brian. So hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really late. I work until ungodly hours, and then I have to get home and stuff. So
it happens.
But I really thought that I would be too late to watch the show, but it turns out we haven't even started episode 2 yet, right?
Well, we're like a little bit halfway through the Genesis.
Where I am, they're reading the test results. Weird Ernie's reading the test results and realizing that it's just a big joke.
And this is
they cut that out where I'm at. So
didn't they cut that out of the Syndicate version?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But I'm watching the Blu-ray version, so it's all there.
Right.
I was lazy and watching on Peacock, and they cut that out.
Yeah, and I didn't realize, I think we discussed this on the podcast, in that scene that you guys are discussing, Suzanne, there is a radio in the background. And I was doing my rewatch for the pod, and I said, wait a minute, where's that radio? I know I took a picture of it, and then I realized that whole scene had been cut when they cut that episode in 2. Yeah. Can someone turn off my echo cancel or turn on my echo cancellation? Oh, I guess Albie would have to do it, right?
Yeah.
I'm just getting like a high pitched squeaking.
Yeah.
Is everybody getting that, or is it just
In the
me?
year 2024.
We'll know if we're back on this.
Albie, we hear you.
Somebody super chatted. Woo! Super chat.
We got a super chat. Somebody read the super chat.
Somebody read a super chat. Somebody
While
read a
Albie
super
is trying to get back in here,
Yeah.
let's go to the chat.
So I
So
did
get behind on the chat. Deb Burry likes Catch a Falling Star, The Leap Back, MIA, Shock Theater. All great ones. Great ones, great ones. And grandchildren love the wrong stuff. Lots of favorites in there. Thanks, everybody.
I'm going to open up the chat on my phone.
Dan Campbell has donated $20. Dan, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, there goes Brian. He took the 20 and ran. You're just like, see ya.
Oh. Yeah, when Jay was talking about an episode written by Paul Brown that he didn't like, I'm wondering if it was Good Night, Dear Heart.
I love Good Night, Dear Heart.
He apparently wrote 12 episodes.
Oh wow!
Disco Inferno, Catch a Falling Star, All Americans, Good Night, Dear Heart, Maybe Baby, which is what I thought it might have been, because that's the only one I could think of that he wrote. But out of the other ones, Rebel Without a Clue, maybe. Runaway, Private Dancer, Nuclear Family, Wrong Stuff, Temptation Eyes, and It's a Wonderful Leap. So
he said there was one that Paul wrote that he didn't like.
Yes, he couldn't remember the episode, or he must have blocked it out because he didn't like it. But he said the only thing he could remember about it was that Paul Brown wrote it. So it had to have been one of those.
Gotcha.
But I was going to ask him, but he had to run. So
yeah, I was looking it up.
Are we here? Can you hear us?
Yep.
Are we coming in clear?
We hear you.
Are you on the continents?
Hi again, Chris.
It sounds like
Christopher DeFilippis.
I can hear you. I can't see you. Can Albie turn on my echo cancellation? I feel like I'm echoing.
It doesn't
we
sound
can't
like
because we're already recording.
Okay.
It's a weird thing of Riverside.
I don't hear any echo. So
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to load the chat.
We'll fix it in post because
Well, we're gonna have to fix it in post because Ali keeps coming and going. What's going on with him tonight? I guess it's.
I don't know.
This is the joys of live TV, everyone.
Yeah.
He's calling on a dial-up connection as he's watching us on his VHS tape.
Right, exactly.
That's what he said.
He's using a dial-up modem. Right? Yeah.
Nice meeting you, Christopher. I've heard you a bunch of times. It's nice meeting you.
Oh, nice to meet you, Aaron.
I've
I
listened
know you
to
guys. I've listened to a bunch of your shows, you and Michelle.
Okay.
So when you started, hi. So I feel like we've met before, but maybe not. So hi.
We may have been on one. I don't remember offhand. I know I've heard you a lot on the Quantum Leap shows back when Albie and he started off. I was listening to you quite a bit, and I read the books you've done. What was it? Forward or Foreknowledge?
Yeah, Foreknowledge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and okay. So, and Aaron, maybe I also feel like I know you because we always used to read your feedback on the show.
Oh yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, and I used to always write it down. Yeah.
Yeah. So that could be it.
I see a radio on the screen.
Uh-oh. I don't have it. I don't have the show on. I'm going by memory.
It's I think it's in their kitchen.
Oh yeah, I did a whole thing on that. That radio actually flip flops. It's two different radios depending on what scene you're watching.
Oh my god. But it's like a nice close up on it. That's why I looked up.
Yeah, they do. They got one. They got one. Yeah.
So I kind of feel almost in shock knowing that there's actually someone out there that has listened to our show. So I'm just kind of a little flustered at the moment. So thank you for saying that. That made my night.
Oh, you're welcome. Don't be silly. It's funny because I like the longer shows. A lot of fun I have is like taking drives to nowhere for no reason, and it's always great to have like a nice long podcast with people I like, because it just gives you something to listen to, and you feel like you're in the car with friends. So I want to thank you for that. So anyway, are we in episode 2? I'm trying to.
Yeah, we're in episode 2, different parts.
Yes.
Right.
Sam's flying the plane, and they've heard the boiling coffee.
Yes, that's where I am.
Yeah, see, I'm where Sam just parachuted and landed after parachuting out of the jet.
It's about to happen for me too.
Yeah, you're ahead because of the stuff they cut.
Yeah. I got commercials that stops me, but then they cut crap out, which
right. Right.
Which I hate when they cut the stuff out, especially that was a great scene, where it's all the test results.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the chat, Phil Marson says I was explaining to my 5-year-old that Stan was using an old phone. She said, "There's no way you can FaceTime on that." LOL.
Oh, yeah. These kids are hooked up.
There we go. I'm gonna get it live. All right.
Yeah, I think my son already knows as much about computers as I knew when I was in my early 20s. So he's 8.
All right. I'm finally in with the live chat. Oh, oh my God. Brad Brassfield writes, "Did Jay refer to the new QL as the Imposter Show?" I didn't hear it. But I guarantee you he did.
Yeah.
He made a comment that apparently Scott is working on possibly some new imposter show, is what he mentioned. And
called The Imposter. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's referring to the new season.
Probably not.
Oh, see, I got my hopes up for a second there.
Yeah.
Damn it. That'll teach me to come in a day late and $1 short. Brian, you said that we got that $20 donation, and then you just disappeared. I thought maybe you'd take the money. Take the money and run, buddy.
Now, if there's another $20, I may not come back.
Yeah, Sam's just now going in the room to see the new baby.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're way ahead. He's still on the plane on my screen.
Yeah, he just walked in with Gwen and
They're,
a bit.
they're in the car on mine.
Oh, jeez.
Unless your blood pressure keeps elevating.
Yeah, Chris, before you signed on, I was showing everybody my little look and leap here, which is my quantum leap scrapbook from
wow.
that I made back in the 90s.
Holy
And it's
moly.
got all kinds of stuff. I said that they have on Al's Place, but then I started showing pages, and Brian said, I don't have that one. You need to send me that. And I don't have that one. You need to send me
just,
that.
just send me the whole book. I'll go through it.
Oh. And then also, this little picture I made in ninth grade.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's really cool.
Very nice.
Full color.
Yeah. I forget if I did that on my own or if it was for class. I did two different ones. Like one I definitely know I did for class. That's a little too big to show. It's like poster size.
Speaking of making, I know I showed everybody, but this is what I made. It's a cup.
I think
With
I've seen
all
that
the
before. That thing
comments.
is really groovy.
Cool.
Yeah, the show we did, Chris. She had that on there. That's amazing. I want that so bad. I'll give you $20.
These are like $50. Does it take everything? It's all like hand cut. So from different comic books.
I was going to say, many comic books give their lives. For that
Just duplicates.
Okay.
And then I literally put in like actual like words in it. And, oh boy, and all of that.
That's just amazing. I love that cup.
I have more comics. I just haven't had a chance to do more. So I don't know. Maybe you'll get one in the mail someday.
Hey, you can go on Al's Place and download the comics and just print more.
You know what? I thought about doing that. I really have. I don't know if you noticed, but
I
there's
just
even
put them all in PDFs too.
dates. I've even got the dates on it.
That's so cool.
That is cool.
When did the Al's Place start?
2000.
2000. Okay. Because I remember when I first came across it. Because I mean, I was back in the days and wasn't a whole lot on Quantum Leap out there, and I ran across Al's Place. I'm like, oh, fantastic! I love this.
Oh, thanks. It's been fun. A lot of fun.
So, Brian, do you by any chance have this?
What is that?
It
No,
is-
I do not.
It is the September 1993 issue of Video Event. It's one of those free magazines they give out at the video stores. I lost my mind when I saw this. They had.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
You could
Very
win
nice.
the soundtrack or like 5 episodes on tape. Now, of course, the soundtrack hadn't come out at this point, so that's what I really wanted. And it's like a stupidly simple, if you know the show, like trivia that you have to answer, and if you get all them right, you'll be entered into the contest. Well, I actually wrote a whole story about it because I actually won one of the CDs, and so I don't even forget how many people actually. I didn't think my chances were very good, because it said 5 people would win the video collections and 20 people would win the soundtrack CD. So I don't know how many people entered, but I was one of them, and like, I was like shaking. I was so excited. Like I didn't even think I had a chance, but it's like, well, if you don't do it, if you don't, then you don't.
Right.
My dad always says, if you don't ask, the answer's no. So I sent it away, and it was months. It was like after Christmas. It was like January or February. And we actually had a call from, I guess, because you had to like sign for it, and it was from UPS. And they called and said, "Looks like your lucky day." And I don't know if they knew, because I actually have the envelope here. I have the envelope here like saved from when I won it. Like
everything.
Jesus,
I made like a whole story of it. In my creative writing class, you're supposed to write a biography. So I wrote the story of like how I won this thing I called it CD Dilemma.
CD.
Very nice.
And so it talks all about it, like, you know, written. I have to read it again because obviously my memory isn't as good as it was, you know, as it would have been when I wrote that. But I guess I was one of the 20 winners, and I thought that was pretty amazing.
That's pretty cool. I would love to get my hands on all of that stuff.
All right. I
Just
guess I'll
everything. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'll put it out there. Everybody can see it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm at where Sam just left in the Fox, and I got a commercial.
Yeah, he's in the hospital right now in mine, where he's
I'm
talking
still in the hospital too.
to the doctor about how they can help her.
Right. What are you, a doctor now?
He's kissing Peg in the hospital bed right now for me.
Yeah, we got a 60-second commercial break.
Well, that'll help us catch up a little bit.
Yep.
Aaron, are you watching an old VHS that you recorded from the TV, or are you?
Yeah, no, we're watching it on Peacock.
Peacock with ads.
Yeah,
and they have stuff cut out on Peacock.
Yeah, and they got the scene we were talking about earlier with the them talking about the test is cut out.
Yeah. I noticed that when we did the revisited episode for our iteration of the QLP.
Yeah, I didn't realize it wasn't in there. I was too lazy to walk out to Manland to get the Blu-ray.
Let's catch up on the chat right quick. Okay, so Stacy's in there saying no part 2 includes the baseball leap 2. Dewey Finn says, wow, watch the birth of an astronaut. He's referring to Samantha Stratton in Atlantis of the new series.
Yeah.
Good.
I love that guy.
What else we got here?
I would have thought they would have made more of a mention of that. I mean, it was just a subtle nod.
Yeah, really. Adrian Sal says, hey, where was my invite? You're always invited, Adrian. What's up?
We were showing off puppies earlier. Here's mine.
Nah.
Oh,
Hey, buddy.
It's the big dog that has little dog syndrome. He thinks he's the size of this thing.
Suzanne Berry says, awesome to your stuff. She is correct.
Thank you. Yeah, my dog here is 50 pounds, but she thinks that she's a lap dog. She'll climb into the lap. And
yeah, my junkyard's almost 80 pounds, and he keeps trying to crawl in my lap. You're not a puppy. You're not that small anymore. Get down.
All right, looks like we got Albie and Stacy back, maybe. Answer one. Do you guys think it was interesting that in Genesis they did that double leap? Was it just so to maybe hammer home the concept of what the show would be going forward?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Just to get viewers used to that he's gonna be leaping around.
Had we discussed this already when we first aired, when you guys first started? But was this made to be a backdoor pilot just in case the movie was a hit, or was it supposed to be like a one and done, and then the movie was got good ratings, so they decided to go to series with it, or do we know?
Well, I mean, the second episode aired 5 days later, so they already had it made.
Oh,
and
so
then
Don made a deal.
Yeah. They probably had the whole first season pretty much in the bag.
Yeah, the first season was only like 9 episodes. I assume they had it all written out as a series.
Yeah, because remember, it was a mid-season replacement, so they probably had it ready to go in the fall, and then they got bumped back.
And then if they had the 9 episodes, you're like, well, we got it. They're done. We'll air them, and if it sucks, people don't like it, then we'll just go ahead and not renew it.
Right,
Yep.
right, and you'll never see them again.
And here we are 35 years later talking about it still.
Serenity, wait up, Serenity, wait up, Serenity. I wish I could see you guys.
Yes.
We'll be coming in soon.
Wait up, Chris.
Chris, wait up. Chris, wait up. Wait up, Chris. I'm injured. I'm bleeding. I think I broke my femur.
Let's go. Walk
Chris,
it off. Walk
wait
it off.
up.
Walk it off. Walk it off.
Chris, did you make them walk all over the city?
Oh,
Did
you think that I made you guys walk?
Too much.
Albie, he literally got injured trying to keep up with me.
Oh
So,
He's getting his
Well,
knee on
you
a
know,
rock in Central Park.
no! You can warn them, you know?
well,
Chris,
I learned that
where you
Albie and I
going?
have,
Chris, wait up, Chris.
Albie and I have fundamentally different ideas of what constitutes walking. Is what I learned.
Yes.
In this last-
So for Chris, a short walk is a mile or two.
He runs 1 step a mile.
Chris looks like he walks slow, but somehow he is super, super fast. He's like the Flash.
1 step, he's from one side of New York to the other.
It's me compensating for my short little legs. I got short guy syndrome.
I got my steps in. I get 23,000 a day.
That day I had like 15,000.
Listen, my plan is working. No one's ever going to visit me again.
I'll come back.
I hope you all come back.
I just need a leash for Chris next time. Yeah, like, oh, maybe a rickshaw. He can pull the rickshaw for me. That'd be perfect.
You can put him on one of those like bouncy leashes that you can like
Yeah.
if you get too far ahead.
Oh,
Like
gosh.
a choker and go, wait up, Chris. Wait up, Chris.
There's that episode of The Simpsons. This leash that means us both.
So
Happy anniversary.
I'll take a train trip up there next time I need to get my steps in. Okay, we'll walk around the city.
Sounds like a plan. It's funny.
No,
it's
but
just,
all seriousness, it was the best time ever.
Yeah.
Oh, we had such a wonderful time. It was such a great visit. I'm still thinking
Chris
about
is a
stuff.
wonderful tour guide.
I got to mail some stuff to you, Albie. You left it in the back of Laura's car.
Okay.
So,
Huh?
yeah.
So what's happening in the episode
Genesis,
now, Aaron,
right?
Suzanne, Brian?
No, depends who you talk to. Right now, for me, he's talking to.
Sam Tiding. He's calling Al back to talk to him back in the locker room or whatever.
Yeah, he's been in the locker room for a little bit for me. He's looking in the mirror. He's about to go back out.
Yes, right now he just found out he has 6 doctorates. Medicine's one of them.
Is this before or after the most uncoordinated mirror shot in the entire series?
For me, before.
Stacy says she can't get back in.
Somebody give her the key.
Frustrating. I'm sorry, Stacy.
I sent Adrian a link.
Uh-oh, Adrian Sal. I have never spoken to Adrian Sal.
He's
This
a great guy. He proofs for us sometimes.
Should be epic. Oh, I know all about him. I've just never seen him face to face. So,
Yeah, Al
I believe
just
he's
told
from a
Sam,
land down under.
Al just told Sam his full name, where I'm at.
it's
All
Calavicci.
right, I'm trying to catch up.
Whose brainchild is this? Yours?
Yeah.
Nope. Yours.
Okay, here comes the uncoordinated mirror shot here.
Yeah.
Dad's still winding the tape.
Winding the tape.
I'm trying to think of something where there was a hologram that reflected, because this is where Sam says you're a vampire.
Yeah.
And these holograms don't reflect, but I feel like there was something. Was it maybe in the new series where the hologram was reflecting?
No.
Why was I watching where the hologram was in the mirror?
Not sure offhand. Right now, where I'm at, he's calling his dad.
I don't know. When I was doing the new leap-ins for the new series, the videos, Jimmy Hulsman helped me make them. But you can see Ben leap out, but you can see it in the reflection of something. Maybe Ian's glasses or something like that.
Yeah. No, it might have been a show that had another hologram. Might have been just like another hologram type thing, but
Right.
and then I noticed that they were in the mirror, and I said that's not an agitation of subatomic quarks or whatever. It's going to drive me nuts.
He's calling his dad.
He's calling his dad. We're caught up. We had to press fast forward for a while.
Is that his dad, whose name is John, who's got a brother John? And
and they're all Toms.
They're all Toms and Johns.
Is it a coincidence that there's a Tom in the original series and the new series?
There's so many Toms.
So
Wait
many
till you get
Toms.
through the
So many
original.
Toms.
All the Toms.
So who was that to Belisario? Like who? There had to have been a Tom in his life.
You know what? I think that somebody asked Don that, and he said Tom's just a good name. It's just a solid name. You know, I think that was basically the rationale.
Mike a lot
Somebody
in my
correct me if I'm wrong.
I use, I'm the same way. I use Mike a lot in my stories, but it just because it's a good name. Just like every bad name.
Yeah, Albie's a good name. If you ever need to use it,
I may
Albie.
have to now.
Any future Quantum Leap writers, Albie, Albie.
Name his daughter Serenity.
Yep.
Yeah.
So did John Beckett say that his brother had gone to Australia or something like that?
Yeah.
So it's like the end of Great Expectations. Everybody moves to Australia. It makes it big. That's a weird choice to me. That's just. But I guess they had to make it remote enough in the 50s where if somebody went to Australia, you literally would just never see them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
you
it.
just lost in the outback.
It sounds Susie Q's never-ending jewelry party corrected me. He is his dad John's Uncle John's son. Gotcha. So John had an Uncle John, and Sam is being what would have been Sam's John's cousin. I don't know. I need a family tree. Do we have a flow chart?
Like he says, I'm John's son, but he is John's son too.
I don't believe I've missed Matt so much. In he would have had this.
Yeah, we're like, and I've seen this episode 1,000,000 times.
Right.
Chris, Mr. Chris, we coming in clear?
Hey, there's the faces.
There you are.
Yes.
Oh, and there's and they got the TV on in the background. We
Wait
can
up,
sort of
Chris.
see his
Wait up, where you go?
Wait up, Chris.
Wait up, Chris.
Wait up.
Where you go, Chris?
Here's John Beck, little Sam.
Just hold your breath, because you just pop out again.
So this is our other leap and look while we're watching.
They're very special.
Baseball.
Don't get any cheesecake
Oh
off
my
them.
God! Don't watch the video of me signing that. I look every bit I look like the greasiest degenerate in that video.
It's too late. I already saw it.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan, for not mentioning it. You're a gentleman.
350 people saw it.
It was
It's
so
on our
endearing.
channel.
I loved it so much.
Next time you want me to record something, just make sure I comb my hair.
It says, Albie, we've shared some amazing times together. Don't tell anybody. Love, Christopher.
And I put love in quotes.
Yeah.
Love? Question mark.
And then we have to Albie and Serenity. Remember, dear friends, would you like to express this?
Hold on.
Oh my God, who's that guy?
May you get everything you wish for.
Adrian!
Testing.
See, I got everything I wish for. Adrian Sal in the flesh.
Hello, everyone.
In the
Adrian! Happy anniversary, Adrian!
Happy anniversary to everyone there.
Hello.
Yeah, it is tomorrow. I'm actually supposed to. I'm on my lunch break at work, but I thought I've got to pop in, especially as you just mentioned. If there's a John sighting in Australia here, so I thought I'd jump in and say hi to everyone. But happy anniversary. It's, a lot of you I've spoken to online, but I've never actually jumped on a call. So I thought,
That's cool.
A very handsome man.
Hi, Adrian.
I like many of his pictures on social media.
I know. Yes, well, we all do our best. And I've been following your Serenity and Albie, your trip to New York, and Chris. And if I could have just clicked my fingers and gone to the connector and got to meet Sam. Got to meet Scott Bakula. Like, very envious, and you guys must have had such a ball doing that.
It was an amazing time. Did you tell the story of how we got Scott for your visit, Albie?
Not publicly.
I heard it.
I was told that he knows we're coming, and we'll know where to wait. And we got lovely tickets for the show. Very appreciative.
They were fantastic.
I'm not good at figuring things out, so I really didn't know where to wait. So I just waited where he met with everybody last time. And there was about, 300 people in the theater? How many does it hold about that? But there was about 100 people in the lobby hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And we were just guessing. And then Chris just happened to see Scott walking out the lobby. And I kind of had to jump in front of him, in front of the exit to stop him. I was like,
stop. Like a door stop.
Oh,
I'm Albie from the Quantum Leap podcast. He said, oh, yeah.
That's funny.
So, but if Chris hadn't spotted him and I hadn't dove in front of him, it would have been a waste of 2 train trips, 25,000 steps.
Hi, I'm Albie.
I'll try
But
to
it
take
all
that
worked out.
personally.
He was so gracious and nice to everyone, and talked to Serenity, and we got the picture. It was amazing.
I just say thank
What an
you.
experience.
He's so tall, you know. I wouldn't
So
have seen him
tall.
before.
Very tall, like 6'8".
Yes. And for some reason, I was standing really close to the camera while Scott was really far behind me. So the picture kind of looks weird, but it worked out.
Do you think he remembered from when you interviewed him, Albie?
I don't know. He's such a good actor. He made me believe he did.
Right.
Yeah.
Scott's so gracious that
We go with that.
Yeah, but I've
even
dated
if he
people
didn't-
that don't even remember me. So I don't know. I'll never know. But he was so kind and nice about it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So Adrian, don't go back to work. They'll never know. It's not like it's live on the internet or anything.
No, I've just gone up to the rooftop up here, so there's no one up here. So
Oh, that's a perfect spot.
That's pretty cool.
Don't do it, Adrian. You are loved. We all love you. Don't do it.
Jump.
No.
It's funny. I'm actually Hayden and I live in the same city. We're both from Melbourne, but I've never actually met Hayden, but we speak all the time. So we. I'm sure we will at some stage. I've seen that he interviewed. He actually interviewed Magic, the original Magic.
Yeah.
He lives in Melbourne somewhere here. So there is a bit of a Quantum Leap connection here, which is great. But I love. I put it on the chat as well. But I love the fact that 35 years later, that we're still as passionate about the show as we were when it first started, and that's what I love about our community. And we all know each other, and it's all great, and we're all supporting the new series. And it's just, it's great to be part of, I think.
It's
And also,
a nice big family.
Yeah. Especially that's what, with Matt and everything, we all felt that. We all felt that because we all had our own connection with him, and it's just, you sort of, you grew bonds. You grew bonds over such a long period of time. So, it's hard to explain to people that aren't into Quantum Leap, and to be honest, I don't really care because I like, we like it. We like what we like, and
it was hard back in the 90s to explain to people who didn't get it.
It was.
You didn't get it, yeah. But I was saying earlier where it's like, oh, do you watch Quantum Leap? You're like, oh, is that show where that guy is a woman all the time?
It's like Sliders. No, it's not Sliders. It's similar to Sliders, but you sort of got to go through that.
Yeah, it's funny. When I was writing my book, I didn't have a computer, and so I was using my work computer, and my friend Joe had a computer, and I was at his apartment working on my book, and he said, "What are you writing?" And I said, "It's the show Quantum Leap. You know that show." He said, "That's the one where the guy who's a ghost, right?" I said, "Yeah, sort of." He was talking about Al.
Go with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, at least you pulled some memory out,
I was saying earlier, the first episode that I saw all the way through was Ghost Ship, and I had no idea what was going on, but I liked it.
That'd be an odd choice to see.
I thought it was awesome, though. I was like, I need to see more of this.
For the record, my episode just ended.
Sam was about to land on the first on the home base.
Yeah.
We're on the
Spoilers.
third episode, I think, now.
Are you Albie?
yeah.
Are you planning to break the record of 14 hours, or what are we thinking here?
Thinking about it, we might just go through all the seasons, see what we can do. If we weren't having so many technical
I
issues.
said we should go from Genesis to the 13th episode of season 2 of the reboot.
So
Yeah, by that
All
time
in
it'll be
one
the
live stream.
70th anniversary. By the time we get, then we'll go right back around again.
We'll just have to figure out the technology a little bit better first.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'll just stay on this. I'll stay here, and I'll just be locked out overnight, and then I'll just stay here till the morning.
There you go.
That was epic. I must admit, you did well to stay the course.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that was fun.
It was
that
for a
was
great cause, so-
that was a blast, and it was great to have you and everybody else in the chat with us, keeping us awake and supporting us.
Yeah. The cast of the new Quantum Leap, they're just absolutely amazing. Like that Trey's Calloway's read along, I was just captivated by it from start to finish. It was just unbelievable, and they were all getting into it. Caitlin, everyone was really getting passionate about it. It was just amazing.
Yeah, they
You guys, yeah, you guys must have appreciated it too, being part of it.
I don't know who pointed it out, and I didn't realize I had done it, but they said every time Caitlin has a boyfriend in the script, you took the part, Chris.
It was Serenity. Serenity pointed it out.
I was like, really?
Yeah, and every time there was a dumb guy, a dumb character, it was me.
Yeah, or the drunk, Albie.
Yeah, I was the drunk. I was the guy they were trying to get away from.
You were the fire chief. You were the fire chief.
I was the cab driver.
I was the punk.
Yeah, that's so good.
Chris, this is totally new information.
That's all right. If I cast it, I would have done the same thing, Chris.
I tried to give you the parts that I knew wouldn't jam you up too much.
I appreciated it. Who did we lose?
Brian just dropped that. He'll come back.
All right, I'm going to actually jump off as well and head back downstairs. So
Don't jump, Adrian. Don't jump. We love you.
Choose your words more carefully.
I will.
Yes.
I will.
So I invaded Juan's space and I invaded Christopher's space, and I have an invitation from Hayden. So hopefully, if I make it down there, I'll get to meet you as well, Adrian. So we'll try to make that a plan. Okay.
Yep.
That would be amazing.
Not, but when? Nice to see you guys, and I'll speak to you guys all online. Enjoy.
Thank you, Adrian. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
See you guys.
And if you're ever in Central California, Albie, you always have an open invitation here.
Yep.
Ah, is that where you live? I always wondered.
Yep, we're near Fresno, California.
Fresno.
The armpit of California.
Aw, that sounds fun.
If you ever come to North Carolina, you can stay with me. Oh, I told where I live.
North Carolina, you said it. Now I know.
Oh.
North Dakota, here we come.
Oh yeah, I'm on the end credits now.
All right, so that was the 35th anniversary of Quantum Leap. The original series.
Thou shalt not.
Thou shalt not. No, this is what one is this?
It's Starcrossed.
Terry Hatcher episode.
Yeah,
Starcrossed.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, it's a really good.
Yep, one of my favorites too.
Really good one. They're all my favorites, except for that one Jay doesn't like. Did you ever figure out that one?
Farmer.
It was either Nuclear Family or what else did I see? Paul Brown.
Nuclear Family is Kristen's
Suzanne
favorite.
read them all.
Your heart, maybe.
He wrote
Good
the
night,
wrestling
Your Heart.
one.
Good
Let's
night,
take,
your
let's
heart.
take a vote on which one we think it is. So let's go.
I
Let's
love
go
Good Night
from,
to Your
from the
Heart.
beginning to the end.
Yeah, right.
So what's
Say
the
list.
first Paul Brown
Okay,
script,
you want
Susan?
the list? You want the
Yeah,
list?
let's
Yes.
do the list. Let's
All
vote.
right, Disco Inferno,
That could be.
Catch a Falling Star,
Oh,
Nope.
that's a great
Definitely not.
episode. You can't
All
hate that episode.
Americans,
All Americans.
That's my least favorite episode.
Good Night,
That's
Dear
my least
Heart.
favorite episode.
I think Good Night, Dear Heart is maybe one of the most underrated episodes.
It's
Maybe
really
Baby,
good.
It's good.
Maybe Baby was
Baby's
good.
cute.
Rebel Without a
Sugar Brown.
Clue could be maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of a generic motorcycle, like a stock plot episode.
Runaway,
Runaway.
That was our first episode as the QLP 2.0.
Ah,
Because I ran away.
Private Dancer sucks.
You didn't like that?
Nuclear
I like that
Family,
one.
Nuclear Family is the bomb.
The
And I
Wrong
just
Stuff.
realized I made a pun about that. Anyway, what came after Nuclear Family?
The wrong stuff.
Oh, come on, Diaper Monkey.
Yeah.
Classic.
Diaper Monkey. Everybody likes Diaper Monkey.
Yeah.
We need
Temptation
Diaper
Island.
Monkey too.
Temptation Eyes blows.
And It's a Wonderful Leap.
That's
That was a funny one, a good one.
And Halita, I like that one.
See,
I would say All Americans.
I'm going to say Private Dancer.
See, All Americans is my least favorite out of that list.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my least favorite.
whatever. Maybe Baby. I don't know. It's kind of okay.
Power in that one.
I mean, I don't know. Could be Rebel Without a Clue, maybe, because that one I don't really watch that one that much.
Yeah, Kerouac.
Could
Yeah.
be Good Night, Dear Heart.
Love Goodnight to Your Heart. It's got Nick Locarno in it.
I mean, me personally, I always
Everything's
kind
real.
of like one of these ones. Dreams was trippier, but Good Night, Dear Heart
Dreams
was
is the only one I watch, and I'm like,
with Good Night, Dear Heart, it was like you got this really weird obsession with her, and I was just like, oh, I don't know.
well, you know, when you meet a really beautiful dead woman, you know, that things happen.
And there's a sequel to it in the comic books, so sort of.
Yeah. Yes. So I don't know. Those are the ones. There's 12 episodes here.
I'm gonna go with All Americans.
I was going to say that too.
That's my vote.
I don't know if Jay likes football or not. If he doesn't like football, that's probably it.
Yeah, not my favorite.
Yeah, we watched it for the show here not too long ago, and it's not as bad as I remember it, but it's still not. Yeah.
It has good parts, good actors.
Yeah,
story's cute. It's just something about it just didn't appeal to me.
Yeah, same here. I can't think what it was, but it just
It's got a sweet, sweet portable transistor hanging up in the dad's van. It's like
Chris,
a sky blue.
Did you talk about the radio in Genesis yet?
I talked about how the one in the kitchen turns between two different radios, and also the cut scene has a radio, which is the reason I recalled that it was cut, because I was like, how come I didn't see that radio again? So you missed it, Albie.
Yeah,
it was scintillating. Everybody laughed. It was
He was just trying
spot
to
on.
rewind his tape.
Do you know how many Phillips head screws are in this thing? Way too many. Way
So
too
is
many.
that your VHS the sold copy of they did Genesis? They did. I look down in my collection. All I have is the Leap Home and Shock Theater.
Those are the great ones to have.
Yeah.
I think they did at least 5, because that was when I was talking about the contest they had. The grand prize was 5 episodes on cassette tape.
So
Yeah, that was the first one of them, I think. Yeah.
Is the cassette tape complete, or is it the cut version?
From what I remember, it was like the 2-hour movie version.
1 hour and 33 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's the whole thing.
Yeah, so it's gotta be the full one.
What I was surprised out is Dreams is available on VHS. That shocked me.
That was
I got
another choice.
mad.
Yeah.
I was like, Dreams? Why would they pick that one?
I'm thinking, what year did the VHSs come out?
90
It still wouldn't make sense.
I
Yeah, my
Brian
logic
knows
is
stuff.
flawed. So
92.
92.
Because I was thinking Dreams is such a blatant lift of Silence of the Lambs. Maybe they were going for maybe they're going for different flavors of different leaps, and that's sort of like a thriller, a psychological thriller leap, as opposed to a homespun the leap, home leap, or I don't know.
The 5 that are here, it has if you read it, the pilot episode, Kamikaze Kid, Catch a Falling Star, What Price Gloria, and what the heck is that last one? I need a flashlight.
Wrong Stuff is not on VHS. I want it on VHS.
Color of Truth.
Oh, the Color of Truth. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I would
Color
have
of
to say
Truth
they would have to.
and Dreams. So I think that's it.
This is the actual copy that Matt watched to write his book.
Oh,
very nice.
Yep. He didn't sign it. I got his book signed though. So
What is the red top on that one? Mine doesn't have that red top.
it says the pilot episode.
Oh, gotcha. Very special.
Yeah, the artwork's cool on those,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they still work after all these years.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. You ejected halfway through, and like 30 years later, it remembers your spot.
It's good memory.
Pretty amazing.
Good
They got
point.
good memory.
Yeah. So
All right. Well,
I was telling
I
Christopher.
think that was a good anniversary celebration. So I
Yes.
think we'll go through one by one before we end. We'll give our final ratings and our final thoughts on Genesis parts 1 and 2 as a whole, because they are a movie. They go together, even though they're two leaps. We'll start with Aaron.
Never seen it before. No, I'm joking. No, I give it a 5. I think it's out of 5 stars. I give it 5 stars. I think it was fantastic. It was like we talked about earlier. They give you 2 leaps to show you the premise of the show and to get you used to it. The facial features from both Scott and Dean are just fantastic. I love the writing in it, the guest stars. I'm a big fan of Bruce McGillis, so anytime he's in anything, that's always gets an extra bump up or two. So, yeah, I just thought it was a great pilot to start the show with.
Awesome. And out of 5 silly objects, what do you give it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I give it. I'm gonna give it 5 Burma cream shave road signs.
Awesome. All right, Michelle.
I would say that out of 5, maybe a 4.5, because it's not my favorite episode, so I can't say it's a 5. But no, I enjoyed it. I love hearing. Can you mute your camera or your thing? I'm hearing myself echoing so bad I can't hear myself talk.
I enjoyed pretty much everything about it. Like, I do like the fact that they showed 2 different ones to give you an idea of what's going on. Like Aaron said, I just enjoyed it thoroughly. It's actually one that sticks in my memory, which is hard. I was telling Aaron that every time you guys mention an episode, I'm trying to remember what it is, because it's like 50 First Dates every time I watch an episode. But I would say out of 5, so 4.5 dash cams on the window. Yeah. Of the car.
Like it.
Suzanne Smiley. Final thoughts and 1 out of 5 silly objects.
This Genesis is one of my favorite episodes. We get to see the introduction of Sam and how and just the way that the performance that Scott gives is just so genuine, and you really believe that he's going through this. You know, it's so emotional, and you see like a whole range of like just confusion to like acceptance, and it just and like the longing for trying to figure out who he is, and trying to piece together like the little bits of things that he sort of remembers from his past. I've actually in like fan fiction I've written, I've probably covered this like events from this episode and events from the leap home more than anything else. So I've watched them many times so that I could get them accurate when I'm actually writing the story. But it's definitely one of my favorites, and like I said, I probably know it by heart. Like I could read it, I could just recite it line by line as I'm watching it. So since I mentioned earlier, and I don't know if you were here, but I will give it 5 out of 5 Quantum Leap soundtrack CDs.
Yay!
I like it. Brian Green, North Dakota.
Carolina.
Carolina.
Heads Carolina, tails North Dakota.
Exactly. Final thoughts and rating.
Final thoughts. Obviously I loved it. To be a 13-year-old and have a show hook you like that from the first episode. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now I like a lot of episodes better than this one, but as a pilot, it did its job. It's great. I love the characters. I didn't know anything about Dean Stockwell or Scott Bakula back then because 13. Who knows who they are? But it was great. And out of 5, I'm going to give it 6 exploding coffee pots.
All right, I like it. Christopher D. Philippus. final thoughts and ratings on Genesis Parts 1 and 2.
I have grown to like this episode more and more every time I see it. I remember the first time I saw it, I was kind of disappointed in it because I had been watching the series for a while and I hadn't been able to see the beginning episodes because they weren't in syndication yet. So when I saw it, I was a little bit underwhelmed, but now I watch it and I just say, wow, how much this episode got done. You had the character building, you had the world building, you had like really heady sci-fi concept stuff, high concept stuff that was given out to a mainstream network audience, but they didn't pull any punches. Like all that was there for us. And then, then you had all the nostalgia stuff that Don always wanted to bake into the show to attract the boomers and to attract the, the eyes of the people saying, hey, I remember that. Hey, look at that radio. I had that radio, So, I mean, it does it all so well that I think that it's, if you're going to do a pilot, you should look to this to see how to do one right. So, like Brian said, and everybody says, there are episodes I like a lot better. But for what this is, I think it's just a really solid start. So I'm going to give it 4 bird dogs out of 5.
All right, Serenity.
So I really like this episode. This was the first one that I saw, and of course it's the pilot. And I think that there definitely was a good reason for this one to get picked up. And I really liked it. So I will give it 5 radios in the kitchen.
Great. Good deal. I love Genesis. Usually it's because when I sit down and watch it, I'm starting the series over again, and I know I got a great adventure ahead of me. And, Dean Stockwell, Scott Bakula are amazing actors. So that kind of you kind of take that for granted, of course, because they're amazing in every episode. But also in this episode, we have Jennifer Runyon, and I really think she was amazing in this episode as Sam's wife in this. So for that reason, and just the story and the feeling that it gives me every time I watch it, I'm going to have to probably go with Brian and give it a 6. So I'm going to give it 6 dancing washing machines. I just really love it. It's not my favorite. You got Delete Poem, MIA, real tearjerkers. But as a pilot goes, I don't even think of it as a pilot, even though it is a pilot, because it's done so well. It seems like it's like the movie version. Like they did so good with the series, they made a movie. So that's the quality, So I just love it, and I can't imagine my life if I had never tuned in that night to see the special 2-part episode movie event.
At 2 years old, right?
Yeah, I was 2 on NBC, and it's been great, a great trip, a great adventure, and hopefully most of us get another 35 years to enjoy this show. But happy anniversary, Quantum Leap.
Happy anniversary!
Yes.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary!
Yeah, happy anniversary to everybody, all the fans, all the actors, all the writers, all the producers, the casting, everybody involved in the whole show, and even in the new show, the continuing legacy of Quantum Leap, the novels, the books, the comic books, all the media, all the merchandise. It all really, we appreciate it, and we appreciate all the work that you've done for the fandom over the years, and the kindness. And Quantum Leap is a unique, I think, property that it goes without saying that everyone involved is just so amazing and kind and giving. And we love you for it, and we will keep watching for years and years to come. So happy anniversary from the Quantum Leap podcast. I am Albie.
I'm Serenity.
Who's next? I'm Chris.
From the Starbright Project, I'm Aaron, and happy Quantumversary.
And I'm Michelle.
I'm Suzanne.
And I'm Brian from House Place. Happy anniversary, everybody.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary, everybody!
Woo!